Hi there. I hope you're doing fine wherever you are today. So there's something that I want to talk to you about. There is a menace in Africa, and I'm going to talk about the Chinese people. Of recent, we know when foreigners invest in any African country, there is a development that they bring, especially to the GDP. You know, so that's the gross domestic product of any country because they'll employ people and they'll increase the living standard of people. But at what cost? That's the question. Now, this video talks about these Jamaican um, shops which were burned down. The Jamaican shops were banned because of the racist behaviors that they have always have. You can't tell me that we having people who can't buy anything in your shop just because they don't look like you. I want to take you back. Look at what happened in Kenya like 2 months ago. This Chinese guy who called an African monkey, he was deported. We are never laughing with them. 2 weeks ago, look what happened in Nigeria. Nigerians also did the same. They closed the shop, but that's not enough. There's something that they need to be shown. There's something that these people need to be stopped. We appreciate the economic influence that they have brought into Africa, but it is not ends of Africans. Our values, our custom, the respect that we have, we as Africans need to be cherished, and that's one thing that needs to be done. But now look at the extremes that Jamaicans went to. The extremes that Jamaicans went to was to send shockwaves to these people that indeed we black people, we are tired with these racist behaviors that they always show us. So guys, I want you to listen to the opinion of people, of what they said about these issues, and then let's come back, have a discourse, let's talk about it, because this is a menace which is happening in African countries. Because I had a friend of mine who shared with me a story. Maybe one day I'll bring him and he'll talk about first-hand racism that he experienced from the Chinese people. So let's watch this video and then dive into this discourse. Let's talk about it. What do you feel about it as a person? Tell me what you think about this. And guys, just before watching, I ask you to subscribe to my channel. If you're watching for the first time, you can consider joining my membership and hope to see what I'll be offering you. Until then, let's watch the video.
So disclaimer, I'm not saying the activity that occurred in this video is good or that it should be applauded, but I will say I understand. In Port Antonio, Jamaica, this hotel was burnt to the ground because the owners of the hotel basically put a policy saying that no Jamaicans could stay there. Only Chinese and Caucasian guests were allowed to stay and utilize the private beach. Now, it should be clarified that the owners of the hotel are not Jamaican themselves and are believed, I don't know for sure, but are believed to be Chinese investors from, China. Anyways, here's the video. Now, I'm not saying what they did was correct, but if you know Jamaicans, they do not take ish like that. So what do y'all think? Were they right or wrong? Also, it should be noted that not a single person was hurt or injured in this incident, to my knowledge. If someone has other knowledge, feel free to put it down in the comments. Anyways, follow for more. Appreciate you.
Jamaica has had Chinese in our blood since the 1800s, post-slavery. But has U.S. fear of Chinese competition been shaping a funny Jamaican cynicism for our new Chinese immigrants? This is Wake Up and Live with Bob. The Jamaican government has all but begged foreign investors to invest in Jamaica, but they all seem to cut their eyes as the government asks them or request of them to pay Jamaican workers a basic minimum wage. So why then are Jamaicans so unsettled about the new Chinese class of investors? From childhood, I've never seen a Chinese business fail. That's not to say that they've never failed, but I see them as the people who've always baked our patties, baked our cocoa bread, baked our hard dough bread, slice our cheese, bake our buns, and they are the ones whose mini marts have now turned into super mega marts. That is a business track record that has served Jamaica well for many, many years. Chinese are reopening businesses, closed and failed businesses all over Jamaica, in rural areas where businesses once thrived for 15, 20 years ago, but no longer exists. Chinese have been opening up that sort of business, and have been doing well and contributing well to the GDP of Jamaica. If they're ever a concern about Chinese leasing airports or seaports or leasing land concession, you please remember this. In the United States, for example, nearly all its seaports are leased by foreign businesses. They're leased and run by foreign businesses, and that's something most people don't realize. In my mind, I can only think of perhaps about 8 or so seaports in the United States that is actually run by local companies. Most of those companies are leased and run by foreign investors. This does not mean that foreign investors in any way own your country or is taking over your country.
Welcome back, guys. And our values, our customs as black people, this is something that needs to be cherished. And I'm glad that Jamaican people from the Caribbean took into their hands and went there and did what is called justice, because the damage that these people have done to African countries and Caribbean itself has shown that enough is enough, and they need to get away. They need to stop this, and this is not right, So in as much as it might seem that the people who own this shop, they went for losses, but they've learned their lesson, and the lesson is respect people. In as much as you might be having a lot of money than them, in as much as you might not you might be having a lot of things than them, but remember, these are the local, these are the people who stay in this place, these are the natives, and we don't want you to increase our GDP if you cannot increase the level of respect that you're showing onto us. Africans, black people, Jamaicans, which we also consider them as our fellow Africans in the Caribbean, we demand respect, and respect shall be given unto us. We demand respect because it is their land, it is their country. If they don't want to give respect, let them go back. Let them go back to their country. Somebody can say that I'm being harsh on them. No, that's the only language they understand. If a person have the guts of calling an African monkey, like seriously, how can you call a human being monkey? I understand somebody is black, but you're conscious. You tell you this is the person that has his lineage or his ancestors were colonized, were enslaved, some of them, and then you call them monkey. Some clips that I also share with you really shows the damage that these people have done. I understand the influence of Chinese in African countries, economic things that they do to us, which is okay, because on the flip side, it has an advantage because they employ some of us, they give them jobs, they increase the living standards of people. But all I insist in is let these not come at the expense of the respect, the value that we need to put into human beings. Human beings need to be treated equally. Tell me, if today an African goes to Chinese and they says that, no, this is only a Chinese owned restaurant. Tell you what, it won't even stay for 3 days. But we Africans, we keep on laughing with them. We might even bow down to them. No, we demand respect. We demand our values, because we have our values, our customs, our way of doing things. And I'm proud for what Jamaicans did. and I'm proud for what Nigerians did, and I'm proud for what Kenyans did in this scenario, because they are becoming so cocky, these people. Like, relax. Just in a country where you don't even belong there. So that's some messed up situation. We don't need to be respected in our own land. It is that time for Africans, for we people to rise. Also, another thing that I would like to address, let's promote our own African products, because you leaving an African shop, going to that Chinese shop, knowing very well that these people don't like you, these people don't appreciate you, go to a shop that you are appreciated. Buy there, give value to them. Those are the people that you need to go and promote their shop. I'll say this, and I've always been saying this in my videos, the only asset that a black person ever has, be it in Africa, outside Africa, be it Asia, be it Europe, it is the unity. That's one thing, and I'm glad to what the unity that they had. They stood up together and they stopped this. Because if you cannot respect us, then the shop won't stay here, because this is the land. You can't disrespect people in their own land. You need to give them respect. Why do you get the guts of doing that? It's like I'm going to somebody's village, and then they're giving me a chance to build my kiosk there, and then I'm saying, no, you can't buy to this shop because you are black. No, we can do better than this. Salute to those Jamaicans who did that, because that's the only language that they understand. Even they don't understand deportation. Yeah, let's apply the scorched earth policy, because that's the only thing they understand. So watching this video, I was pissed at the same time, because these things is a menace which these people have been always doing to us. As I've said earlier, I understand and I recognize the economic opportunities that they've offered onto Africans and maybe Caribbeans in the Caribbean island, but they just can't